Morning, everyone. Hello, hello, hello. We are back for another 11:11. Oh, yeah. Hello, hello. So good to see folks coming along. How are you? We are getting ready to rock and roll here this Wednesday. Hope you are too. Hey, Sharon. Good morning to you. Hope you are grand this morning. That all is well. Morning, John. Beautiful sunny blue sky today with all of snow. Yeah, same here. Same here. Just gorgeous, beautiful sunshine shining through these incredibly gorgeously frosted woods. It is really something today. Just gorgeous. Good morning, Fannie Faye Davis. How are you? Hey, good morning, Vicky. Morning from DC, sunny and beautiful. I'm so glad. I'm so glad you're still making time for us here, Vicky. It is really. I know that you've got a lot on your plate, and I hope this. It is so great to continue to journey with you. So, it is glad to see you here. Uh, we. So yeah. Yay, sunshine. Yes, sunshine. It is good. It is good for sure. Uh, but it is cold, man. Whew. Like I don't know if it's been this cold since we've been here. Since I feel like this little stretch of cold that we have going right now. We've been now here for uh, pushing 3 years, and it is 2.5, I guess. So it is. Yeah, man, it's cold. Like it is. It's solidly in the low teens this morning when I got up and let Poco run around. And uh, are you kidding? You guys are keeping me sane down here. And the same right back at you. Our gathering is our dose of sanity for sure. Um, Good morning, Priscilla. Cold and snowy here too. Yes, yes, yes. Good morning, Rosalia. Hope you are terrific. Yes, it is Audrey's birthday this morning. So looking to see if she'll be along. Either way, we will have a birthday song for Audrey here in a little bit. Good morning, Sandra. How are you? Hope things are great there. I think Jamie's plans to listen. She's not working today, so I'm not sure. That's great. I hope she's there. Jamie, if you're here, dun dun dun. That's out to you. All right. Hey, Irene. Glad you're coming. Glad you're here. Yes, you were missed yesterday. Yeah. Happy birthday, Miss Audrey. Yep. Audrey will get a birthday song in a minute. I've got a couple more folks coming in here to see. Maybe one of them is Audrey. Yep. We hope for that. Hope she finds her way. She's been a stalwart journeyer with us. Yeah, and if you've never heard the story of how Audrey came to be a part of First Congregational Church, it's one of the more lovely stories of Providence that the Spirit at work. So if you ever get a chance to hear it and have her tell it to you, please do because it's really a great journey. Like that it was truly one of these moments of being in the right place at the right time and the right things and everything everything lining up, all of creation lining up just at a particular moment that that she has now. I don't presume to know how old Audrey is, and nor would I dare say, but if you get a chance, ask her to tell the story of how she came to be a part of First Congregational Church. It is a great story. So I am hopeful she'll be along, but we'll give it one more sec. And good morning, Gary. Good morning, Linda. Glad you're here. Donna, good morning to you. So glad. I hope things are well for everybody. I hope you are holding on to good things this morning. We do a lot of holding on all over. We do holding on to good things, holding on to challenging things. So, uh, yes. So it is, as I've said, it is Audrey's birthday, and whether I don't know if she's hanging out behind the, not commenting, or if she'll catch this later, but I know she will be here as a part of our community. And so it is our tradition that if I find out it is your birthday on 11/11, I will sing you happy birthday. So here we go. Audrey, this is for you. Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday, dear Audrey. Happy birthday to you. Well, that was a key in somebody else's pocket, but anyway, it was happy birthday. So very good. Donna, hope you're well. Oh, you get vaccines. Very good. So we are on this. Welcome. It is the 10th day of February, this Wednesday at 11:11. And I want to tell you a war story this morning. So, on the second day of July, 1863, the Confederates were fighting the Union Army on the Battle of Gettysburg. John Reynolds had done an amazing job, and Buford, with his cavalry commander, had done an amazing job of delaying the Confederate assault on Gettysburg, while the entire night soldiers marched in from all over Pennsylvania to wake up that morning to discover a good portion, if not the entire Army of Northern Virginia, staring them down. By the second day, Dan Sickles, one of the most infamous and famous characters of the day, had put his troops way out in front of the ridge line and way out in front of everybody else, and the Confederates were feasting on the Union soldiers. They were beating them up consistently because he was way out in front and unable to be supported by the entire rest of the Union Army. As this, came to be called Sickles salient, because it was just sticking out there, as his soldiers began to get beat up and began to retreat, and Sickles' salient began to crumble, and all of the Union soldiers began to run away, two entire brigades that were making their way up the ridgeline and were going to seize the very center of the Union Army. That we taught, if you've never heard of the Battle of Gettysburg before, probably the one thing you have heard of is Pickett's Charge, which would come the next day. There would be no Pickett's Charge at this moment, because these two brigades were about to seize the center of the Union Army, breaking the Union Army in half, being victorious over the Union, and in many ways may well have been the very end of the American Civil War and the end of the cause of anti-slavery in this country. It was all of that was hanging in the balance in that moment. Hancock, the general on the scene, the corps commander, so you have to remember, there's the regiment, there's the brigade, there's the division, and then there's the corps. So he looks around and he sees one unit that's formed up. Everybody else is in chaos. He sees one group, 420 men, all that are assembled. And he looks at them, and he looks at the Colonel William Colville, and he looks at Colville. Now, granted, Hancock is the corps commander. Remember, this isn't just Colville's boss. This isn't Colville's boss's boss. This is Colville's boss's 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 boss. Turns to him and says, as they stand on the ridgeline and look down upon the entire Confederate army that is advancing with all of these Union soldiers retreating around them, He says, "Colonel, do you see those colors?" And he points to the center of the Confederate line. Two full brigades, thousands of Confederate soldiers with a bone in their teeth, on the advance, destroying the Union Army as it stands in front of them. He says, "You see those colors?" And the colonel looks at him and says, "Yes, yes, sir." He says, "Take them." Colville commands that the colors be unsheathed. They were sheathed at the time. He says, "Unsheath the colors," and they charge. There are still questions about whether or not they actually were their weapons were actually loaded at the time, or they went in simply with bayonets. But they charged the center of the Confederate line, and they took those colors. Of the 420 men, there were 85% casualties in 15 minutes. 50 dead, and the rest, almost everyone there was wounded in 15 minutes. Their bravery and their boldness so disrupted the Confederate advance that it gave them 10 to 15 minutes before the Confederates could even get themselves reoriented to what had happened, because everything just turned into this big scrum, and that in order to get reformed, the Confederates had to shake everything out. It took them a little while, and that amount of time allowed Hancock to bring up reserves and to reform the line on the ridge line. And the world, the Battle of Gettysburg, became what we know it to be today, the turning point of the American Civil War, the turning point of the fight against slavery, the turning point of the entire endeavor of union in this country. When we make a contention about whether we're having a bad day, I like to use, it's one of my little metrics. I also have another one that I use that I'll share with you in a moment. But one of my little metrics is am I in the 1st Minnesota? Am I in the 1st Minnesota? Am I standing on the ridgeline on July 2nd, 1863, staring down what is likely to be certain death? When I'm feeling it, having a pity party for myself, I will say, is this is this 1st Minnesota day? Because not that I'm going to go charge and crash into something, but is what I am contending with truly heroic, truly huge, truly at the hinge point of history, or am I just whining about life? Now, don't hear me say what I'm not saying. I am not saying that life is not hard and that we do not have significant and real challenges in our days right now, that things are not difficult and that things are just peachy keen and they're fine and we should ignore the griefs of our days. That is not what I'm saying. Every challenge is set for its own time and its own place, and their challenge was for their time and our challenge was for our time. And I'm not getting out of a Higgins boat headed toward the Omaha beach. I'm not right now, today. I can have my drive into work this morning, and I'll look at the beauty and the gorgeousness of the frosted trees and all this. But I can think about all the things that are going on, all the things that are going on within the church, all the things that are going on with the people that I love, all the people that I know that are grieving and lost, all the uncertainty, all the fear about the future, all the heartbreak that we've seen unfold in this last year, and the future heartbreak, all of the injustice that seems to be playing itself out and be on top of the world, and yet I still, I had heat in my car. It was pretty nice. It was a pretty good ride. It was beautiful. Was it the 1st Minnesota day? Was it a day? Am I being asked to give up everything and all things right now, right here? Everything I will ever know and everything I will ever be, that to be cast into eternity, and on this side of the veil to be cast into eternity for the next, for the order of one man, for the order of one moment. Is that where I am? I don't think it is. I don't think it is. And my guess is it's probably not for you either. That this is not a First Minnesota Day. And they rarely are. Few of us probably get First Minnesota days in our life. That's a bad day. 85% casualties of the people, 85% of the people that you love and hold dear, probably the closest to people in your life at that point. First Minnesota had been fighting for 2 years at that point. That what they were, the people that you were closest to, 85% of them had holes in them by the end of the day, many of them dead. That's a bad day. Am I having a bad day? Or am I simply dealing with life? You see, because life is hard, friends. Life is a challenge. Life is a marathon, not a sprint. It will grind on us. It will find, like water, it will the struggles of life will find the crack and work on it. There is difficulty in these days. I am not saying just suck it up. I am saying that there is the difference between the slow order and the slow work of God and the hard moments. You see, I think we must never lose sight of the slow work. We imagine it's always a battle. We imagine that every day is a First Minnesota Day. We imagine that every day all the chips are on the table all the time. We imagine that all the things are being played out all the ways all the time. And I'm not talking about just our ability to compromise. I'm talking about our ability to live life. Because life is filled with grief. Life is filled with pain. Life is filled with difficulty. And yet in the middle of the difficulty, in the middle of it all, we must ask ourselves, is First Minnesota Day, or is this just life? And from Paul writes to the church in Philippi in the first chapter, it's right out of the gate of what he's telling them. He says, "For I know that this will turn out for my deliverance, through your prayers and the provision of the Spirit of Jesus Christ, according to my earnest expectation and hope, that I will not be put to shame in anything, but that with all boldness Christ will even now, as always, be exalted in my body, whether by life or death." The question, friends, is will Christ be exalted in our body, whether in life or death? You're going to die. You will leave this world one day. And I know you know that, but we're constantly affected and worked on by the greater anxieties of this world. And yet when we stand in the slow work of God, not the fast work, in the slow work, that we understand that it will turn out for our deliverance, whether by life or by death. I want to offer you this today that leave you with this morning. This is from Pierre Desjardins. He was a Catholic priest who wrote some very beautiful prayers and was really an avant-garde theologian in many ways. And in it, he writes this. He says, "Above all, trust in the slow work of God. We are quite naturally impatient in everything to reach the end without delay. We should like to skip the intermediate stages. We are impatient of being on the way to something unknown, something new. Yet it is the law of all progress that it is made by passing through some stages of instability, and that it may take a very long time. And so I think it is with you. With your ideas mature gradually, well, let them grow. Let them shape themselves without undue haste. Do not try to force them on, as though you could be today what time, that is to say, grace and circumstance acting on your own goodwill, will make you tomorrow. Only God could say what this new spirit gradually formed in you will be. Give our Lord the benefit of believing that his hand is leading you, and accept the anxiety of feeling yourself in suspense and incomplete. Above all, trust in the slow work of God, our loving vine dresser. Amen. Trust in the slow work, friends, and know that the battle is not a battle. The battle is life. The battle is the unfolding. The battle is the maturation. The battle is the shaping of all things. The battle is the grace in the circumstances. The battle is the gradual formation of spirit, not just in this life and on into the next. The battle is the giving our Lord the benefit of believing that his hand is leading you. Remember that when we compare our days to the days of July 2nd, 1863, and the days of the 400 men of the 1st Minnesota, our day is probably not as bad. And even if it is, we are unfolding in the slow work of God. And it is that we must trust. It is that the loving vine dresser holds us dear. All right, friends, that's my hope for you today. Hey, Audrey, you did make it. I sang happy birthday for you. I hope you saw it. Morning, Amy. Glad you made it too. I hope you have a great birthday, Audrey. I hope it's one of your favorites. So we have another day tomorrow for 11:11, and I look forward to seeing you all there. Thank you for being a part of this journey. You are all an encouragement. I hope you are an encouragement to one another, because you are an encouragement to me. And that you might, in these days, understand it is not battle, but it is trusting in the slow work of God. All right, peace and grace, my friends.